I'm going to do a very short video right now, hopefully like just a few minutes, on the problems with Christianity, and you might say like fundamentalist or evangelical Christianity, and some of the things that the Course is coming to correct, at least for the general understanding of how things have gone since the beginning of Christianity, it seems. So we have, first of all, I really think that with these kinds of things, people tend to straw man the other side, meaning they make the other side, they give the worst view of the other side, and then they argue against the worst points of the other side. And that's called straw manning, right? And then there's steel manning, where you make the other side look as good as you possibly can, and then you speak to that. Now, the other thing I would say is that if you really want to get clear about these things, you look at the best position presented side by side. That's why debates can be good. If you have two people on either side of the debate and they're both very, very knowledgeable, you're going to get a better idea of things, right? And you're going to be able to make, I think, a more reasoned or informed decision about things. But let's just talk about the problem. I'm going to try to keep this very short right now, I hope. The problem that I had, I'm Jewish, and I've been missionized before. I've been proselytized by evangelical Christians. Here's the problem that I see. Some of the problems. First of all, kind of the idea of forcing your religion on others and saying that there's no way to get to God except through Jesus. That's one, that Jesus is the only way. And that if you don't accept Jesus, if you do not believe in Jesus, you are going to be damned, and you're going to have to endure God's wrath. All problematic, especially if you say God is love. Then how can God be wrathful? How can God not accept that I have a problem with accepting something which I don't feel I can really believe in? And why would a just God or a loving God, send me to hell? And the idea that Jesus is somehow the only begotten Son. Jesus is special. All the rest of us are adopted children. All the rest of us are poor, helpless sinners, and Jesus is the special one. But even so, God had to basically punish Jesus as a blood sacrifice for the sins of humanity, which Jesus willingly did, apparently. But why was that even necessary? All these things are problematic, right? And I think one of the most problematic is the idea that other religious faiths are wrong, right? Or somehow they're lesser, and that everything is going to ultimately lead to Jesus. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that this is. I'm trying to present the problem, for people on the outside, like myself, who hear these kinds of things, and, they just, for a Jewish person who is brought up Jewish, to be proselytized or missionized as if I don't accept Jesus, I will be damned, right? God will not forgive me. I'm going to have to pay for my sin somehow, and I can't do it through the sacrifices in the temple anymore. So how am I going to pay for my sin? It has to be through Jesus. That is quite problematic. Anyway, this is where I believe A Course in Miracles provides one way of correcting these things which are problematic. So I'm going to leave it at that because I promised a short video. This is not exactly short enough, but thank you for listening, and well, I'll say more about this in future videos. Thank you.